When it first came out a couple of weeks ago after that Eagles game that Diontae Johnson refused to enter the game, I said, uh-oh, that is a big yikes. And then when it came out that the Baltimore Ravens were suspending Diontae Johnson for a week, I said, oh my goodness, that's an even bigger yikes. So I was back and forth on, man, are the Baltimore Ravens, they probably going to still try to keep him, try to mend this relationship and try to get this thing worked out for the future. And I was back and forth between that and, you know what, Ravens could just end up cutting their losses. They could be like, you know what, we traded for him, we tried it, well, we didn't really try it, but it just didn't work out and move on. But then I thought about, all right, well, if they cut him, if they release him, that would almost be like a reward for Diontae Johnson because they traded for him so he could come in and help the team. And that obviously didn't work out, but that comp pick, they'll be holding on to that comp pick. And if they let go of him, they not only let go of the comp pick, but they also give him the possible opportunity to go join another team, possibly even a contender, possibly even a team that they could see in the future. And it seemed like even after they suspended him for that Giants game, that just like me, the Ravens were back and forth on what their decision was going to be when it came to Diontae Johnson because they didn't suspend him for this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they were like, you know what, Diontae Johnson, you stay away from the team this week. And Diontae Johnson was like, look, I will stay away from the team this week because they mutually came to the agreement that they were just going to give each other some space. So I was thinking, all right, well, I guess we'll see what happens next week because literally every single week has been something new. And the Baltimore Ravens said, you know what? Let's just top it all off with this. And now Diontae Johnson is not only a former Pittsburgh Steeler. Diontae Johnson is not only a former Carolina Panther, but Diontae Johnson is now officially a former Baltimore Raven. The Baltimore Ravens have released Diontae Johnson from their roster, and he is free to, he heads to waivers now. So any other team that wants to claim Diontae Johnson, he's all yours, our friends. But what does this mean for the Baltimore Ravens? What does this mean for Diontae Johnson? Well, we're going to talk about all that and a whole lot more. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications on. Let's get to 80K, baby. Let's get there, man. Why we ain't there yet? Let's get to 80,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything going on with our favorite football team. And also leave a like on the video because this helps out a lot. Diontae Johnson being gone from the Baltimore Ravens, how does this impact them? Well, I was thinking, especially after the video that we made last night and we dropped it this morning, I'm like, okay, the biggest wide receiver news that we waiting on is what's going to happen with both Rashad Bateman and what's going to happen with Nelson Agholor. Rashad Bateman, we ain't got nothing official yet. But with Nelson Agholor, he has been ruled out of the game. He will not be playing. So it obviously brought up the memories of this trade, like, oh, man, what this trade could have been, what this trade should have been, but everything that this trade wasn't. But the Baltimore Ravens, again, they released Diontae Johnson, and he's gone now. He's gone now. So the Baltimore Ravens were like, look, this thing, and you know, this took a lot for the Baltimore Ravens to do because y'all all know how much the Baltimore Ravens love, covet. They have this infatuation with their draft picks. That goes to the draft picks that they earn themselves, and that goes to their comp picks as well. So for the Baltimore Ravens, and then you think about ego as well. You think about ego, how this makes them look. It makes them look like they messed up. It makes them look like, oh, they failed. But at the same time, with Diontae Johnson, with the suspension and everything, with the, okay, mutually agreed to stay away from the team for this week, it makes it look like bad on his part too. But both sides ended up losing in this situation, in my opinion. But the Ravens were like, look, we're going to cut our losses. It is what it is. We'll move on. So this whole thing is no longer distraction. It's no longer anything because they're done with it. That's it. Yeah, they won't get the comp pick back. But for them to actually get rid of a potential draft pick, that's a lot. You know, that takes a whole lot for Baltimore Ravens to, for EDC, this team, these Ravens, get rid of a draft pick. Oh, boy. Yeah. So shout out to them, though, because they realize, you know what? It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. He ain't going to help our team. It's a waste of a roster spot. It really was. Because if you're not going to play him, okay, and if he ain't going to play for you, the boys say, you know what? We ain't even going to go through this punishing him no more. We ain't going to go through holding him hostage. You know what? Go do your thing, Diontae. So we'll see where he ends up. Now, with Rashad Bateman, again, it's going to be a wait and see tomorrow if he ends up playing or not. But the Baltimore Ravens, they did call up Anthony Miller from the practice squad. So they said if he plays, this will be his first game since 2021. But even if with him being called up, I wouldn't expect him to get much snaps. Because the Ravens, they obviously got Zay Flowers. I expect the starting receivers, if Rashad Bateman doesn't play, for it to be Zay Flowers and Tylan Wallace. And then they're going to throw in some Tez Walker in there as well. But I think they will rely heavily on Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. He's due for a big game too, but he could get involved a lot more too. Because I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to want to go with the guys who they know, who have a lot more experience, especially since this is a very, very big game for them for so many different reasons. But I wouldn't even expect Anthony Miller to really get any burn like that. But they also called up Desmond King for another game, so that's going to be our punt returner. So Tylan Wallace, like, this whole thing, it's crazy how this, I guess, kind of works out for Tylan Wallace because, remember, he was our punt returner before, but they gave that spot to Desmond King. So Tylan Wallace, he took a back seat to it. But who knew just shortly after you got benched as the team's top punt returner that you could possibly be getting an opportunity to show the world that you could start in this league. So shout out to Tylan Wallace. We hope he goes out there and does his thing. We hope Zay Flowers, he ends up getting over 1,000 yards because this could be the game where it happens. So, Todd Monken, don't forget about Zay Flowers in tomorrow's game because we're going to need him like crazy. I mean, we need all the receivers we can kill right now. But yeah, Diontae Johnson is out of there. So like y'all been coming up with all these crazy outros for your questions and stuff. Let me use one real quick. So just like Diontae Johnson is when it comes to being with the Baltimore Ravens, we out. Well, hold up. We ain't out yet because now we don't reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you want to take part in it, send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send it in a DM directly on Patreon, or for everybody else, if you want to send it in a different kind of way, you can send it directly to our P.O. Box. The address is down below in the description. If you want to support the channel in any other kind of way, that's all down below in the description. The description got a lot of little goodies for you now, so don't sleep on the description. But anyway, let's get into this first question from my guy, Quan V, who is a new Team Keep It Clean patron. Shout out to my guy, QV. Appreciate you, my friend. And yes, you did send it to the right place. He said, my dog, Ingraven. Q, what's up, baby? He said, been watching your channel for some years now. Met some cool Ravens fans at work because they heard your theme song playing in the break room. Oh, that's crazy, man. He said, I'm like, y'all tuned in like that? Let's go. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that, man. He said, I want to start asking questions because I swear we all be on the same page when it comes to the Ravens. Due to these wide receiver injuries, do you think Tez will get more snaps this week against the Steelers? Oh, for sure. I think he will for sure, especially if Rashad Bateman doesn't play. So, yeah, I do. He said, and do you think we bring in OBJ? I could really see it happening because Ravens, like, they love feel-good stories. And I feel like OBJ at this point would be a real feel-good story for the Baltimore Ravens. They could be like, oh, man, all this stuff happened with Diontae Johnson. We didn't like it. You know what? Let's bring back a familiar face. A guy who was here just last year. He brought really good energy, really good vibes, and he was happy with his role and what his role was. Let's bring back I could see them doing that. Again, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of it only because what is he going to bring to the team? But they may just want that safe experience since he got plenty of experience in the league. They may want the vibes because with the whole Diontae Johnson thing, that might have thrown him off because, you know, the locker room had been going through some things. So I can see them doing it. But anyway, he said, or do you think we should bring a guy up from the practice squad like a Dayton Wade? You know what? I forgot about Dayton Wade. Because, you know what? And now that you mentioned that, I would actually prefer, but again, I know Ravens, they want to go with experience, especially in a game like this. But I would have preferred Dayton Wade over Anthony Miller. But Anthony Miller, I remember in the preseason, he didn't look bad at all. But anyway, continuing, he said, also, Ardarius Washington has been balling lately. He certainly has. That man been doing his thing. And even before they moved him to the full-time safety role, he was balling wherever he was at. Slot corner, safety, wherever they moved him at, he did his thing. Anyway, he said, do you think the Ravens will give rookie Bo Braid a couple of reps leading into the end of the season if they look to rest starters after the third quarter? I mean, I hope they can even get to that point to where they can rest starters after the third quarter at the end of a game. I would love for that to be a possibility. Now, something with that, they would really have to. Ravens have an opportunity to get a 4 o'clock game, 4 o'clock or 4:25 game at the last week of the season. The reason I say that is because they got to take care of the Steelers today, though. I mean, not today, tomorrow. If they take care of the Pittsburgh Steelers, then that would mean they would be tied at the top of the division with the Steelers. Now, if Ravens, they play on December 25th. If Ravens win and Steelers win, then they will both still be tied. So then the last game of the season, that would be for the division, but they wouldn't even be playing each other. They'd be playing other teams. So Ravens-Browns game could get pushed back because, you know, the NFL, they want, when it comes to the last week of the season, they want all the games that matter to be pushed back as far as they possibly can. They're not going to put no Ravens-Browns on no Sunday Night Football, but they want stuff to be pushed back as far as it possibly can. So the Baltimore Ravens could end up in a game to where they playing to hoping that the Steelers end up losing, but both teams are playing at the same time. Just a little thought. Anyway, he said, after we beat the Steelers, I like that. That boy said after we beat the Steelers. He didn't say if. He said after. I love it. He said after we beat the Steelers, I think we should give those guys some reps just to see what we can get out of them. Tired of seeing players with potential never get a fair chance on this team, especially at the wide receiver position. Now with that, yeah, it all depends though. Again, we talked about potential earlier today. It's tricky with some positions because some positions got that guys that are locks there, that guys that all right, that's the starter for sure. But other positions, it's like, oh, no, we could have seen some more out of him. He showed us some flashes. Give him an opportunity. So I get what you're saying. He said, we see Tea's first catch was a touchdown. You never know what you truly have if you don't try it out. I think the guys on the back end of the depth chart should get a couple of reps so we can truly understand what we have leading into the playoffs. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. There it is. He said, versus being thrown in a fire. We've seen this work for the linebackers. Chris Board and Harrison came in and added their flavor to the defense. We all love my goodness. Whoa. Get them Steelers vibes out of here, baby. Get it away. I almost said we all love Patrick Queen. He didn't write that. He ain't write it at all. But automatically when I saw Rowe, he put we love Rowe and Simpson. When I saw Rowe's name, I just immediately thought about Patrick Quinn. I don't know why. Anyway, he said, we all love Rowe and Simpson, but the fact we got those extra 2 linebackers just gives us more ammo. I like that. He said, so imagine with the other players in position. See how okay. I love how you brought that all around. He said, so did you see that video of Todd Monken in practice? Yeah, that man was, how he got involved in the drill and all. He said, that's head coach vibes right there. Let's go, Flock. Thank you for everything you do, my guy. You truly appreciate it. No, I appreciate you, and I appreciate this fire question and all the points that you brought up too. And he also said, how do you feel about Shiloh Sanders? I think he will be a perfect fit for the defense for the future. No, honestly, I ain't been looking at no guys coming out of college. Is he even coming out of college? I know obviously Travis Hunter is and Shador Sanders is. Is Shiloh too? I don't know if he is or not. But I ain't been thinking about no draft, nothing, because Raven, we got something to handle right here, right now. But shout out to my guy QV. What a great way to start us off. Next question came from another team. Keep it clean. Patient, my guy Kenny from Bmore. He said, "Ain't great. Hope you and the family doing great." Now I just seen a report that came out that has officially ruled out Nelson Agholor for this game. What does this mean? And if Bateman is out, maybe we should take a look at OBJ. Your thoughts? And just like when it comes to the Ravens being in the playoff following the Steelers game, hope not. I'm out. No, what? No. And even if they were to lose to the Steelers, which it ain't going down, but they still wouldn't be out the playoffs. But we ain't even got to worry about that. Anyway, with Nelson Agholor being out, it means other people got to step up. If Bateman is out, that means other people got to step up. Now, as far as OBJ, I'd be like, okay, cool. Again, I can see the Ravens doing it, but yeah, I'd be cool with it. But yeah, that's that. And he said, just another quick note. Update, Diontae Johnson has been waived. Next question came from another team. Keep it clean. Patient, my guy Martin. He said 3 things that bring me the greatest joy: seeing God answer prayers, watching the Ravens win, and watching your channel grow. Let's get this man 100K subscribers. I appreciate that, Martin. Thank you, man. He said, thanks to your channel, I have a community of people I can talk with about Ravens football, because for the longest time I was a loner because I live in Arkansas and there aren't too many Ravens fans down here. And since being a part of Team Keep It Clean, I have people that share my love for the Ravens football, and I'm so thankful for that. Hey, we thankful for you, and we thankful for you always sharing how you feel about whatever's going on with our favorite football team. He said, this Ravens offense is loaded with underrated talent. Kolar, Tejas, Tylan Wallace, which are all guys I want to see get more opportunities, especially Tylan, since he's shown his big play explosiveness, but he doesn't get the opportunity, and I'm hopeful he'll get a chance in the Steelers game to show us. Before this year, we had no idea the player Charlie Kolar could be, but I like what I've seen. But this is a good problem to have, in my opinion, all this talent. It sure is. That's always a great problem to have in Ravens. A lot of times they haven't had that problem, but this year and last year, it's been a beautiful thing to see. He said, I also just wanted to point out that when people were talking about trading Mark Andrews and when Likely was getting more playing time and targets than Andrews, we didn't hear not one negative thing from Andrews. He didn't send cryptic tweets. When Likely was getting all the shine, he didn't refuse to go in when his number was called. Instead of miss all the trade rumors and bench talks, he's still out there making incredible catches and showing us he still got it. I think he sent this before Diontae Johnson was released. Listen to this. He said, I think Diontae Johnson is mad at the situation he is in because he knows playing for the Ravens, he isn't going to get the contract he wants next season. Even if he wasn't happy about being traded to the Ravens, he could have seen Mark Andrews' example, where now he has put the Ravens in a difficult spot on what to do with him this offseason because he stepped up. He talked about Mark Andrews. He said Diontae Johnson, is only going to look out for his own interests. Then I don't blame the Ravens for looking out for theirs. And yeah, with that release, they certainly looked out for theirs too. Now, I will say, with him being released from the Baltimore Ravens and everything that was put out there as far as the mutual not being with the team this week, him getting suspended, him refusing to go in. While the Ravens, yeah, they do look bad on their side for not using him, not utilizing him, not having him involved. But it could actually look worse on his side too, especially with future opportunities, because teams, they're going to look at that. They're going to talk to the Ravens. They're going to talk to EDC and them. They're going to talk to John Harbaugh, because the Ravens, they are a very well-respected organization in this NFL, as we know. So teams are going to talk to them and be like, oh, what was up with him? What happened with that? And John Harbaugh going to talk to him. EDC going to talk to them. And they're going to say, well, who knows what they're going to say. But that's going to be a real bad look on Diontae, because this is not the first instance where he's been looked at like a bad teammate. This is not the first issue or anything like that. This is not the first thing that's come up. So it's a really bad look for Diontae Johnson. So we'll see what happens, though. Now, we done took care of the Team Keep It Clean patrons and their questions. So now let's get into everybody else's questions. And you know what? Real quick before we get into this, it hurt me to see it, but somebody sent a question. They sent it to the wrong email. And I just looked at it and I said, I said, no. We said we ain't doing that no more. We not giving no passes. So if you send a question to the wrong email, it could be the most fire question. It could have us all like, oh my goodness, he asked that. He or she said that. Whoa, I wasn't even thinking about that. But if you send it to the wrong email, it ain't gonna be a part of this. Anyway, next question was sent to the right email. Came from my guy, Darin. He said, got it out the mud. Let's see what he got out the mud. He said, what's up, man? Quick think piece for Team Keep It Clean. With Nelson Aguilar missing this game, this will be the first time since when that our whole receiving group will be homegrown. Ooh. Wow. So, yeah, Zay Flowers, Tylan Wallace, Tez Walker. Well, Anthony Miller, but Mark Andrews, Isaiah Light. Oh. Since when? When is the last time that happened? I don't remember at all. I really don't. And again, that's if Rashad Bateman plays or not, because Rashad Bateman, homegrown. Oh, that's a really good point, man. He said, even looking through our starting roster, we got to acknowledge how well we can put together a team. It's not a secret that it could be better and has room for improvement, true, but we got one heck of a solid core to ride with. That is such a great point. See, this, I tell y'all every single video, this is my favorite part of the videos. Why? Because y'all bring out points like that. Next question, more so just a straight up statement, came from my guy TJ. He said, win. God bless the family, God bless the channel, and God bless all Ravens. Just win. That's it, baby. Next question came from my guy Jarvo. He said, with the expected release of Diontae Johnson, I can see us getting OBJ and the giant Calais Campbell. Not hype with OBJ, but it'll make sense because of the chemistry he's already had with the team and with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I get that. And yeah, he got a lot of chemistry with this Ravens football team, with the receivers that we got already, like a Zay Flowers, like a Rashad Bateman, like a Nelson Aguilar too, because he was here. Tylan Wallace was here with OBJ as well. So OBJ cool with all them boys. Now, I'm sure they won't really like it if it's somebody possibly taking away their snaps and their catches, but he do got a vibe with all of them, so that's something to think about. Now, as far as Calais Campbell, yeah, let's see. Like, rooting for the Dolphins to lose. Also, kind of want the Dolphins to win, because I don't want Bengals to get in there. This question came from Real Raw Reckless. He said, Ingraven and Team Keep It Clean. I hope everyone is blessed. With Rashad Bateman likely out, this game presents a crucial opportunity for Tez Walker to showcase his abilities. Many of us have been eager to see him contribute, and I believe this is a chance to prove he's Ravens' future number 3 wide receiver. We all know his size could be a valuable asset. I think to win this game against the Steelers, we should emulate the Eagles' successful passing game from last week. Use the play action to exploit the middle with Zay Flowers on slants, and he should hit 1,000 yards this game. See, that's what we were saying earlier, too. I agree. He said, Bateman being banged up will impact the game. I still believe we'll win, albeit by a narrow margin, with a game-winning field goal from Justin Tucker. Whoa, what's that like? He said, given a strong performance against the Steelers, do you think the Ravens should elevate Tez Walker to the number 3 receiver role? They actually might not have no choice. If Rashad Bateman don't play, he would have no choice but to be that. Because, again, it would be Zay Flowers, Tylan Wallace, Tez Walker. So he would be that by default. And he said, thanks for all you do for Ravens Nation. Team, keep it clean. And just like John Harbaugh, oh my goodness, here we go. He said, just like John Harbaugh should be, if we don't win the Super Bowl, I'm out. Next question came from Mars Rowe. He said, I ain't Graven, hope all is well, and you're reading this after a wonderful blowout of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what? I thought that we weren't going to end up doing no questions or anything until after the game, but you see them Ravens, they like, look, no, we got to drop something at 4 p.m. on Friday, but it's all good. He said, I'm mainly writing this for one reason. Carson Steele is about to make the Pro Bowl as a fullback, despite not even playing fullback. Ravens fans, if you haven't voted yet, please make sure anyone but Steele wins, preferably our boy Ricard, but literally any actual fullback will do. The position deserves more respect. Oh, he's not a fullback, and he's gonna get voted in as a fullback. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on then. But Pat Ricard, like, Pro Bowl is cool. Pro Bowl is great. You all respect it. And if you have Pro Bowl on your resume, your resume, it looks a lot better. It makes it look a lot better. It helps you get a few more dollars and whatnot when you're in contract negotiations and whatnot. Because you can put, look, I made the Pro Bowl in 2024, made it in 2023, made it this year. That you can do all that. But yeah, Pat Ricard gonna be busy though. He ain't gonna be worried about no Pro Bowl. But anyway, he said, Ingraven, do you know any other Ravens that we should be putting our weight behind? Hopefully all of our players are ineligible for the Pro Bowl anyway, but it never hurts to vote anyway. Yeah, it's plenty, but we ain't gonna worry about that because Ravens got other plans. Next question came from my guy Lavarre. He said, all of this talk of Tez Walker being our big body wide receiver doesn't make any sense to me when he and Bate are almost identical in height and weight. He's more of a deep threat specialist. If tomorrow's game results in another loss, so let's back up. So he talking about Tez Walker and Rashad Bateman. I thought Tez Walker was like at least 2 inches taller than Rashad Bateman. I thought he was like 6'4", right? I thought he was. Let me see. I could be wrong. I'm looking it up right now. It said Tez Walker is an American professional football player for the Baltimore Ravens, and he only 6'1"? Oh, man. I ain't realized that. What? He just looks so tall and lanky compared to Rashad Bateman. I guess because Bateman got more weight on him. Okay, oh, man. I'm so glad you brought that. This whole time I'm thinking he a lot taller. Is that right? I thought he was a lot taller than that. I really did. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why y'all be pointing out stuff, man. But yeah, he is a deep threat specialist for sure. He said, anyway, if tomorrow's game results in another loss, the chances of going to the Super Bowl are slim because the Steelers will secure the 3rd seed, and we will probably end up having to go back to Pittsburgh in a wild card as a 6th seed. Yikes. I ain't scared of that. Right, look, Ravens get in, they got to play the best 6 teams in the AFC side, and then the best team who made it out on the NFC side. So you can't run from the competition, baby. You can't run from the grind. You got to get it how you get it regardless. Anyway, he said, and if we do go 0-3 against the Steelers in one season, do you think EDC will consider making some real changes on the coaching staff? I think if that happened, it won't. But I think if that happened, then yeah, there would definitely need to be some for sure.